Do you ever feel like you're drowning in to-do lists, constantly busy, but never actually getting ahead? You're juggling emails, meetings, and a dozen projects. But at the end of the day, you wonder what you really accomplished. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. We live in a world that glorifies hustle culture and multitasking. But what if I told you the secret to extraordinary results isn't doing more, but doing less? That is the radical and powerful idea behind the book The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Today, we're going to dive deep into its core principles. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have a completely new framework for achieving your biggest goals, whether in your career, your personal life, or your health. This isn't just another productivity hack. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach success. Let's start by tackling a huge myth. Multitasking. We've been told that being a good multitasker is a valuable skill. The truth: it's a lie. When you think you're multitasking, you're actually just rapidly switching between tasks. Every time you switch, you pay a mental price. It takes time and energy for your brain to refocus, which means you're slower, less effective, and more prone to errors. Imagine trying to catch two baseballs thrown at you at the same time. You'll probably drop both. But if you focus on catching one and then the other, your chances of success skyrocket. Success isn't about doing more things at once. It's about doing fewer things, but doing them exceptionally well. It's about focusing your energy, not scattering it. So, if we're not supposed to multitask, how do we figure out what to focus on? This is where the magic happens. The authors introduce what they call the focusing question. This one question is designed to cut through the clutter and reveal your most important task. Ask yourself this: what's the one thing I can do, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Let that sink in. It's not just what's my number one priority. It's a strategic question. It forces you to identify the single action that will create a domino effect, knocking over other tasks and obstacles along the way. Think about it. If you're a student struggling in all your subjects, maybe your one thing is to hire a tutor for the subject that's foundational to all the others. If you're trying to grow a business, maybe your one thing is to perfect your sales pitch, which will make marketing, fundraising, and hiring all easier. This question connects what you do right now with what you want to achieve in the future. It's the compass that points you toward your North Star. You can apply it to your day, your week, your year, or even your entire life. This leads us to the next key idea. Success is built sequentially, not simultaneously. It's a domino rally. You don't try to knock over all the dominoes at once. You line them up and focus on tipping over the first one. When you do the right thing, and then the next right thing, you create momentum. Each success builds on the last, creating an unstoppable chain reaction. Think of any great achievement. It wasn't accomplished in a single, chaotic burst of effort. Michael Phelps didn't win all his gold medals on the same day. A skyscraper isn't built overnight. It's built floor by floor, one on top of the other. The same is true for your goals. Instead of looking at the giant mountain in front of you and feeling overwhelmed, just focus on taking the next, single, most important step. That's how you build momentum and climb to the top. Now, knowing your one thing is fantastic, but it's useless if you never actually get around to doing it. That's where the concept of time blocking comes in. Time blocking is the practice of scheduling a specific, dedicated, and non-negotiable block of time in your calendar to work on your one thing. This isn't just a casual, "I'll try to work on it this afternoon." This is treating your one thing with the respect it deserves. It's an appointment with your most important goal. During this protected time, you eliminate all distractions. No email, no social media, no phone notifications. This is your deep work zone. The authors suggest blocking out at least 4 hours a day for your one thing. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, that might sound like a lot, but even if you start with just 1 hour a day, the compound effect is massive. A small amount of focused effort, applied consistently over time, will lead to incredible progress. Your time block is sacred. It's the time when you're not just being busy. You're being productive on what truly matters. At this point, you might be thinking, This sounds great, but it requires a ton of discipline and willpower, and I just don't have it. Here's the good news. You don't need to be a superhero of self-control. The book argues that we over-romanticize discipline. You don't need endless willpower, you just need enough to build a habit. It takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. For those 66 days, yes, you'll have to use some discipline to show up for your time block and focus on your one thing. But after that, it becomes automatic. It's no longer a struggle. It's just what you do. Think about brushing your teeth. You want to wake up every morning and wrestle with the decision of whether or not to do it. It's a habit. The initial effort you put in has created a routine that runs on autopilot. Your goal is to turn your most important work into that kind of habit. Use your discipline strategically to build the right habits, and those habits will carry you the rest of the way, creating powerful momentum that makes success feel effortless. Finally, let's talk about the idea of work-life balance. We're often told to strive for balance in all areas of our lives. Teotos, the one thing, call this a myth. Chasing perfect balance often leads to mediocrity everywhere. Instead of balance, they advocate for intentional imbalance or counterbalancing. When you're focused on achieving something extraordinary, you have to be willing to go all in on that one thing for a period of time. This will naturally mean other areas of your life get less attention. Imagine a tightrope walker. They aren't perfectly still and balanced. They're constantly making small adjustments, leaning one way and then the other, to stay on the rope and move forward. Life is the same. When you're in your time block, you are unapologetically focused on your work. But when you're done, you counterbalance by being fully present with your family, your friends, or your hobbies. It's not about giving equal time to everything all the time. It's about giving your full attention to where you are when you're there. Extraordinary success requires periods of intense focus, and that's okay. You can lean into your work and then lean back into your life. So, to recap the core lessons from the one thing, stop multitasking. Ask the focusing question to find your most important task. Build success sequentially, one domino at a time. Protect your time for that one thing with ruthless time blocking. Use discipline to build habits that will then carry you forward. And finally, forget the myth of balance and embrace intentional counterbalancing. Success isn't about a longer to-do list or a more frantic schedule. It's about clarity, focus, and purposeful action. It's about identifying the one thing that'll make the biggest difference and then giving it the attention it deserves, day in and day out, until it changes everything. What's your one thing right now? Think about it. And more importantly, what's the first step you can take to make it happen? Thank you so much for watching. If you found this summary helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into life-changing books. See you in the next one.